With us on set is Dr. Bill Ferro. We met through a mutual friend. He flew all the way in from North Carolina to talk about his company. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Good. So, what started this business for you in the way that you help people? What was the inspiration for it?
The need is out there. People are struggling trying to figure out what's the pathway back to better. And whether it's weight loss or coming off medications, they just don't know the right pathway.
And tell us about your background. How did that start for you?
Yeah, so I was a chiropractor. I had chiropractic offices in health clubs. We had about 30 of them across the country. And no matter how many modalities we gave them, acupuncture, nutritionists, personal trainers, chiropractic, physical therapy, we noticed that people were just having limited results.
Okay.
And we knew that it had something to do with the nutrition aspect, but at the time it was really just talking about calories in and calories out and moving more and eating less. And as many people know, that just doesn't work anymore.
So you came up with a whole concept, a whole plan. It's proprietary to you.
First thing is that you got to think about the paradigm and the psychology behind why someone is having a problem. It's not about punishment, it's about nourishment. And so when someone comes to you, there is no one size fits all. There's 143,000 books on Amazon, and everyone's trying to tell you the different ways to do it, but ultimately you have to define a solution that works for the individual. So the first way they start onboarding is they get online and they fill out an online questionnaire, and it comes to one of my health concierges. We work remotely with people from anywhere in the world, and we design a program that we can not only think that will fit them from their lifestyle approach, but how they're going to fit it into their lifestyle. They have kids, they work, they fly around the country. So it's really about then customizing it to their situation.
And there's an accountability component, so, and I loved that. Can you talk about that? Like the checks and balances between the concierge and the person that you're working with?
Yeah, so accountability isn't new to anything when you're trying to make behavioral changes. What I think is unique here is that the pathway and the plan is set out before them, and we make sure they're successful, so we don't always have to pick them up because we don't let them fall. So every day they're actually checking in through the app and instant messenger. They're putting in their weight, their mood, their sleep. We have all the fitness trackers that we bring in the information, but ultimately there's someone on the other line looking at the pictures of your food, helping you analyze them. And then as a concierge, if you're on the go and you don't know what to pick, they actually can help you make that decision. So it's every single day for 3 to 6 weeks. And by the time the 6 weeks is up, they're off and running. And that's really what we hope to accomplish, is impart the knowledge, give them the lifestyle, and set them free back into the world.
And one of the reasons we invited you on is because your testimonials are so strong. And you're right, there's like all these different books and these gizmos and these plans and this whatever. But I know for a fact that you've been really helping people. How do you feel about that at the end of the day, knowing you're making a difference in their life?
Yeah, I'd say that what I love most about it is it's just so exacting, because the human body was innately intelligent enough to get itself back to healthy. And so if you remove the barriers and the roadblocks, it's pretty miraculous what can happen in such a short period of time. So I feel really confident in the fact that the protocol that you give us, anybody, we're like the Statue of Liberty of wellness. You give me anybody,
Bring 'em
give me
all.
you're tired, you're poor, and we will turn them around in a very short period of time. And that's very comforting, particularly when you are helping friends and family and people. This is the last line for many people, and they're so fearful of failure, that it's nice to just look them and say, I'm telling you, if you just give it a try, you're either going to become a raving fan, or I'm going to make sure my staff refunds you, no questions asked.
One or the other. And I know you have a lot of raving fans.
We are pretty
You're
adamant
doing
about
well.
having raving fans.
There was one story in particular. Would you share that with us? Like something that comes to mind for you?
So we have somebody that was actually from Canada, and he described himself as the fit fat person. He described himself as someone that would go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and in fact, the owner of the health club ended up gifting him personal training because he just felt so bad that this guy was putting in all his effort. And here he was sitting around 302 pounds and working out 3 to 4 times a week. And if you looked at what he was eating, you would say, this guy's really not eating that much. How is this happening? And so, of course, he met my program with a lot of cynicism and skepticism. And I said, all you can do is give it a try for a day and see what happens. Well, within the first week, he was down 4 or 5 pounds. Of course, he was still skeptical. Oh, that's just water weight. He didn't buy the fact that his body was actually converting fat to energy. And 8 months later, the guy's down 70 pounds.
Wow.
And more importantly, he's been able to inspire other people at the gym, probably close to 50 other people that came with it. So it's nice to see one person get away from the struggle, but also help that many other people to be inspired to do so.
After all of these cases and all of these people that you've worked with and all these clients, and I guess you'd call them friends at this point, right? Because you
Sure.
kind of befriend them.
Yeah.
Do you see a common thread of toxicness? You know, is there something right now that's just affecting us, whether it's mental or physical, that you see across the board?
Absolutely. So you have to look at the three factors and three stressors that are hurting the society. Number one is the emotional stress. We are asked to do way more with our time than we've ever been in the previous decades. And also we have exposure to chemicals everywhere, right? 800 new a year being flushed into the systems, overuse of antibiotics. Our systems are out of balance and they can't get ahead of it because we keep introducing more physical, emotional, and chemical stress. So as you, again, change the paradigm into a punishment, so you take someone who's malnourished under all these stressors and then you want to put them in a 5 times a week Zumba class and run them around the building 100 times, that's actually just creating more stress and making the opposite approach. So in this case, when we remove those stressors, like what most people are going through, it's so quick how the body just reacts to being in a much healthier environment, internally first, and then it expresses it externally.
What do you love most about what you do?
This is a double-edged sword for me because you mentioned about the clients become family.
Yeah.
So I love that I can help anyone, anywhere, but I don't get to meet them. So it's really interesting to have someone tell you, I was on the phone today at the train station. This guy owns all these pizza shops in Grand Central Station. And I was like, hey, Al, are you around? He's like, no, Dr. Ferro, you changed my life. I'm off today. I can't believe it. You should have. And it's just interesting because I feel so close to the guy and I've never met him. But, he's dropped over 110 pounds with us. He's come off 4 or 5 different medications. And that's the nice part about being able to just work with people across the country. The negative is oftentimes don't ever get to meet them.
And what would it be a good way to engage somebody in terms of, like, how many weeks should they invest? Is it equatable to how many pounds they need to lose, or how long does somebody sign up with Better for Life?
So number one, they just have to think about getting through one good day with me.
Okay.
That's the only thing I want you to focus on. You've already failed so many different times before in the past, and so I don't want you to kind of put that mental, like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do this for 6 months. Just give us one good day, and
Okay.
one day turns into 2, and see if you can get through the first week.
Love that.
Then it's choose your own adventure after that point.
Okay.
Most people stick with us for 6 weeks and then kind of go on their own because we've imparted the knowledge. It's like it's not nutrition, it's nutrition. It's like taking your own course on yourself and really figuring out what works for you. And once it's uncovered, it's like this light bulb goes off and you're off to the races.
Nutrition. Yay.
You like the
Dr.
word.
Bill
Okay.
Ferro, I love that word.
It's yours.
Thank you. It's ours.
Yes,
and
okay.
we're going to help people live it up. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much for flying all the way here from North Carolina. As you know, our show's global. We're seen in 25 countries, and I'm looking forward to helping you help all of those people.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned for more on Live It Up. He's the guy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right. Thanks for watching.